everybody, good morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Tuesday morning, the 4th day of November. As we look at things this morning here, we have an interesting day of weather where winds will kind of turn southwesterly for a lot of us today. But out here to the west, it's going to be more of a west wind. And it doesn't let me draw it in the higher elevations farther to the west, but you can see that that west wind, that's where the fire threat is going to be high because it's going to be very warm and dry here. And along with that, that west wind a little breezy as well. So starting at 9 o'clock mountain time for basically if you draw it in here. This is your time change line right there. Kind of roughly there. So you've got central time right here, mountain time right here. But starting at 9 o'clock mountain time, 10 o'clock central time, continuing until 6 p.m. mountain time, 7 o'clock central time, a red flag warning will be in place, which basically means that there is going to be an elevated threat of wildfires today in those locations. Not super strong winds, but just very, very warm and dry conditions expected. Clouds are exiting eastern Nebraska this morning, a warm front pushing eastward as well, so we're going to get a big jump in temperatures today, somewhat similar to what we saw back on Sunday. Lots of sunshine. But again, you see the wind direction there. Southwest winds for most of us. But then right here, more of that west direction to the wind. And that's where, other than the panhandle, this is where that red flag warning is in place right here. So high fire threat today here through the early evening hours. But you see it to the north, the shift of winds. You got the north wind right there. That is a cold front that's going to be sinking southward into our area tonight. It's going to bring a big cool down for tomorrow, but otherwise no other active weather expected, just a couple of clouds up north, mostly clear for the majority of us. We'll see another day of sunshine, but a big drop in temperatures for your day on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we start to see some increasing cloud cover as some milder air returns. A warm front lifts northeast across the region. We'll bump temperatures up a little bit Thursday. The clouds will kind of counteract that a little bit, as it will be a partly to mostly cloudy day on Thursday. All right, let's look back at today's highs. For today, we'll be up into the 70s in most locations, maybe a couple of 60s, upper 60s around here, and up here to the east and northeast here. Right here is where we could easily see upper 70s, but I think there are at least a couple of low 80s here. I will mention for viewers in North Platte, your record high today is 82 degrees. You tied a record back on Sunday of 82 degrees. We certainly have a chance to get to that record high temperature here. In fact, here's a look at some of the records for today so you get an idea of who has, and again, not all places keep records. These are the locations that keep track of records. So again, we'd have to push lower 80s, even mid 80s in McCook. So there's a chance to maybe tie some records or break a record today. Those west winds often exceed expectations. We get warmer than expected. So that's why I think there's at least the possibility of tying or breaking some records for today. Let's take a closer look around the area at some of the highs here. And again, we're looking at maybe upper 60s around Spencer. 73 for Bassett, but again, it's right in here, that very warm, dry air in place. Wildfire threat right in here. Mid and upper 70s. 73 today in Ord. 75 Taylor, 75 as well in Broken Bow. 78 in Arthur and Stapleton. 81 Ogallala. No moisture in the forecast. I don't know why every once in a while these little things like to glitch out moisture. No moisture. Plenty of sunshine today. Mid and upper 70s elsewhere. Maybe some low 70s around Smith Center. Franklin at 73 in Kearney and Minden. There's 74 in Loop City, but up to 77 later today in Trenton. Again, those western areas, I wouldn't be surprised if we exceed those forecast highs. Cooler to the east here, more of a southwest wind. Still nothing to complain about. Upper 60s around Plattsmouth, 69 Belleville and Mankato, Kansas, 72 in Red Cloud, 71 Geneva, 70 in Seward, David City, Wahoo. Northeastern areas, upper 60s and lower 70s. 69 degrees later today in Blair and West Point. Hardington, 68 degrees, Ponca, Pender, 71 in Albion, Bartlett, 70 Verdigris, O'Neill, and 72 for Greeley, and in Fullerton. As we get into tonight, we'll be back down into the 30s and 40s. That cooler air sinking southward, we'll feel it tomorrow. That said, these highs, close to average, mid to upper 50s, maybe some near 60 degrees. So yes, cooler, but typical for November 5th. Looking ahead to Wednesday night, Thursday morning, 30s and 40s again. So we're not looking at drastically cold air at night. Highs on Thursday, mid and upper 60s returning. The biggest question right now is, can clouds hold temperatures back a little bit? Could be near 70, Imperial. Not bad Thursday night to Friday morning lows in the 30s and 40s again. And then Friday, mostly still in the low to mid 60s, maybe even some upper 60s to the north or the southeast. Signs of some cooler air getting ready to dive south as we head towards Friday night and into Saturday. We're going to feel it this weekend. Cooler air, wind, maybe some moisture on the way. Let's take a look at that long range forecast. Again, bit of an up and down roller coaster ride still to come these next couple of days. That said, not as big of a daily swings after today and tomorrow here, but we are much cooler tomorrow. Back up to the low mid 60s on Thursday with more clouds around mid 60s on Friday. Then we start to drop Saturday. There's that cold front coming through here. It's going to bring a lot of wind with it. I think we could see winds exceed, some gusts exceed 40 miles per hour. That'll be very interesting to see. As of right now, I have not included moisture in the forecast for Saturday and or Sunday. Of the 2 days for the Tri-City, Sunday's probably the better chance. Neither chance is great right now. Things can change. I'm going to show you some long-range models in just a bit. Tell you what I'm talking about. Better chances would be up to the north, but we'll be much cooler on Sunday. Still pretty chilly on Monday. We do gradually warm up, but once we get beyond Monday, it looks like the warmer air does return most of next week beyond Monday. Looking at North Platte, same story. Very warm today. Much cooler tomorrow, but closer to average. We bump back up on Thursday, but there will be more clouds around. I think there'll be some clearing late in the day, and that's why I'm going upper 60s for North Platte. 63 on Friday. There's the drop starting on Saturday. Strong winds. Cooler on Monday. Now we already do start to reverse course and warm back up on Monday in North Platte. Western area is going to warm up a lot more on Monday, and then that warm air will spread eastward. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're back up into the 60s. And in fact, still, as we look at the long range from Veterans Day next Tuesday all the way through the following Monday, the 17th, so basically the middle of November, we are likely to stay above average, which by the middle of November, average highs, low to mid 50s. So I am expecting above average temperatures for that time frame. I'm kind of leaning towards the below average for our area. I know the Climate Prediction Center has near average for us. If we were to see moisture, it would probably come more in the Sunday through Monday time frame, the 15th through the 17th, because anything before that looks dry. So if we see any moisture, it's probably going to be right around the dead center of November, around the 15th, 16th, 17th of the month. We'll keep an eye on that because I'll show you these long range models don't show much moisture, at least through Friday. All right, we're going to quickly go through these next couple of days because there's not a lot of active weather, but let's jump ahead to Saturday. Here comes that cold front. The European model not blasting the cold air as much as the GFS is. It keeps any moisture in our area rain, but there is the potential for a little bit of rain early Saturday morning. It does keep most of the moisture to our north and east though, and that's because the colder air doesn't sink as far south. So not much of a moisture chance, which is why I haven't included anything for the Tri-Cities or North Platte yet. Sunday is interesting. It's going to be a cool and breezy day, and you see this sometimes on cooler air days in the fall and into the winter, and even sometimes in the spring, and you get these little pop-up snow showers or rain sprinkles here and there. So I'm going to be watching. I haven't included anything in the forecast right now, but I'm going to be watching for the potential for some of those pop-up little snow showers Sunday, or rain, depending on the temperature out there. Otherwise, there's not much through about Thursday or Friday of next week. But again, once we get beyond this time frame right here, this is where that moisture comes into play. Maybe we see something around Saturday the 15th, Sunday the 16th. But this just takes us to the 14th, the morning of the 14th. GFS model. Let's jump ahead to Saturday because that's when the more interesting weather comes into play. The cold front, the wind. But it does dive the system farther south into our area and includes some snow for northeast Nebraska. North central Nebraska, some snow as well. But then it struggles to get farther south. But again, this is not like the European model. European model tends to do better long range. So this is why I'm not quite yet ready to say moisture. But again, if we see anything, we'll have to keep an eye on it, whether it is rain and or snow for Saturday. Sunday, again, we'll see if anything tries to pop up when it comes to any kind of little pop-ups, rain or snow showers. Chances aren't great. Beyond that, not much. We'll watch late in the week But right now, the GFS doesn't even have moisture to our west here, but will something try to develop to our west and push eastward around the 15th, 16th, 17th of the month? Again, right now, the Climate Prediction Center thinks so. Me, I'm going to wait because it's 10 days out plus, so not ready to go there yet. But there is a lot of good news in the long range next week. Again, we've got warm weather today. We cool back tomorrow. We're warming back up a little bit Thursday and Friday. And here comes that shot of colder air Saturday. And you really feel it Sunday and Monday. The heart of it will be around Sunday. Monday kind of, but it starts to warm up out west. North Platte, your forecast reflected that. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, milder air. There'll be some shots of cooler air, but overall the ridge still kind of settling in. As we get towards next Friday, this is our jet stream right here. That basically means you've got warm, dry air in here. You got lots of moisture here. And will that start to sneak eastward towards us as we get towards Saturday, Sunday, Monday, around the 15th, 16th, 17th of the month? We'll see. GFS model, again, warm today. Cooling down tomorrow. A little bit better on Thursday and Friday. There's the shot of colder air Saturday. Even colder yet Sunday and Monday. And notice how much colder it is. It's much colder and even includes some of that moisture. Now Monday already starts to warm a little bit out west. North Platte again, your forecast reflected that warmer air already trying to build on out west. We warm it up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe a little shot of cool air there middle of next week. But overall, we're trending a little milder much of next week beyond Monday. The GFS is a little bit different. The jet stream is right. Oh, I threw in the wrong one here. Let's try that again. The GFS is right in here. Because the jet stream hasn't dipped as far south out west, not as much moisture here. This would keep us dry a little bit longer into mid-November if we were to see this play out. Now again, long-range models long-range forecasts tend to favor the European model more than the GFS. Usually the European does a better job than the GFS. We'll see. Long ways out yet. But again, there's a lot of good news that most of our days are at or above average. This weekend, the exception for some of you again on Monday, the exception. With that, I pretty much covered everything, so I want to thank you all for watching on this Tuesday morning. I'll be back with you on Wednesday with all the latest. Take care and God bless. Bye.